Oakwood is a quiet rural town, nestled between rolling green hills and vast fields. Its inhabitants are simple people, who live in harmony with nature and follow their daily routines with serenity. However, behind this facade of tranquility, something sinister begins to manifest in the shadows. The residents of Oakwood are perplexed by a series of unexplained events that have begun to plague the town. At the center of the concerns is the mysterious disappearance of several goats from a local farm. The farmer, a respected man in the community, reports with anguish the disappearance of his entire herd during the night, leaving behind only strange tracks and signs of struggle. This disturbing occurrence shatters the sense of security that Oakwood residents value so much. Conversations at breakfasts and gatherings at the local grocery store are now dominated by theories and speculation about what could be happening in the sleepy rural town. Some suspect wild predators, while others murmur about ancient legends and supernatural creatures. Meanwhile, night falls over Oakwood, enveloping the town in oppressive darkness. The lights in the houses go out one by one, and an unsettling silence hangs over the deserted streets. Yet even in the dead of night, something moves in the shadows, watching, waiting. The disappearance of the herd of goats is the event that throws Oakwood into a state of unrest and apprehension. The farmer, known for his dedication to his animals and his land, is devastated to discover that his precious goats have disappeared without a trace. Strange marks are found on the outskirts of the farm, suggesting a violent fight that occurred during the night. News of the disappearance quickly spreads throughout the city, generating concern and confusion among residents. Some begin to question the safety of their own properties, while others fear that something more sinister is lurking in the shadows of the night. The farmer, desperate for answers, seeks help from his neighbors and friends to investigate what happened. The absence of the goats leaves a void in the community, not only due to the loss of the animals, but also the sense of security that now seems to have disappeared. The streets of Oakwood, once peaceful and welcoming, now echo with murmurs of fear and suspicion. Residents look at each other with worried eyes, trying to understand what could have caused such a disappearance and whether they are safe in their own homes. Meanwhile, the farmer and his group of investigators follow the tracks left by the missing goats, determined to find some clue that could explain what happened. They search the area around the farm, following every clue and every sign of a struggle in search of some answer to the mystery plaguing the town. The disappearance of the goat herd is not just an isolated event, but a harbinger of something much darker to come. As Oakwood struggles to understand and deal with this crisis, it becomes clear that whatever took the goats away is not something that can be easily explained or ignored. Terror descends on the city, setting the stage for what is to come. As the mystery of the missing herd of goats spreads across town, rumors begin to circulate among residents about the possible cause behind the disturbing events. Among the many theories that emerge, one in particular begins to gain strength: the legend of the Chupacabra. The city's elders, guardians of ancient traditions and stories, whisper about the existence of an evil creature that feeds on the blood of animals. They tell chilling stories of nocturnal encounters with a stealthy shadow that wanders the fields and forests, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. As rumors spread, fear grips the hearts of Oakwood residents. Some dismiss the idea of the Chupacabra as mere superstition, but others begin to wonder if there is any truth behind the ancient stories. Uncertainty hovers over the city, fueling anxiety and fear of the unknown. The bravest among Oakwood's inhabitants venture to share personal accounts of strange sightings and disturbing encounters in the depths of the night. Descriptions of glowing eyes and frightening roars echo through the halls of local bars, while stories of brutal attacks become mandatory topics of conversation on every corner of the city. Obligatory conversation topics on every corner of the city. Meanwhile, the protagonist, a newcomer to the city, listens to the rumors with skepticism, but also with a hint of curiosity. He can't ignore the tense atmosphere that permeates Oakwood and decides to investigate the reports about the Chupacabra further. Your search for the truth will lead you to uncover dark secrets and face terrors beyond your imagination. With rumors about the Chupacabra intensifying, a group of determined residents decide to investigate the disappearances and sightings of the mysterious creature. Among them are the protagonist, motivated by curiosity and the desire to unravel the mystery that haunts the city, and other brave people who join together in the search for answers. Arming themselves with flashlights and courage, the group sets out on nighttime expeditions to the locations where disappearances and sightings have been reported. They scour the nearby fields and forests, looking for any sign that might indicate the Chupacabra's presence or explain the disturbing events that have frightened Oakwood. As they progress in their investigation, the group finds increasingly worrying signs of the creature's presence. Strange footprints and scratch marks are discovered around local farmers' properties, while eyewitness accounts describe terrifying encounters with an ominous shadow that moves through the night. Night expeditions are marked by moments of tension and suspense, with investigators on the edge of the unknown, facing their deepest fears as they search for the truth. Every shadow turns into a potential threat, every noise is interpreted as a sign of imminent danger, fueling the group's paranoia and anxiety. However, even with all their efforts and dedication, the group always seems one step behind the elusive creature. The Chupacabra remains an enigmatic and evasive figure, leaving only scattered clues and a sense of terror that hangs over the city like a dense fog. As the investigation continues, the protagonist and his companions realize that they are involved in something much bigger and more dangerous than they ever imagined. The mystery of the Chupacabra is far from solved, and the creature's true nature remains hidden in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself in all its terrible glory. As the Chupacabra investigation continues, tensions in Oakwood reach a fever pitch. Residents live in a constant state of fear and paranoia, each shadow turning into a potential threat, and each night bringing with it the promise of more terror and uncertainty. Reports of sightings and attacks multiply, leaving the city in a state of increasing panic. Residents avoid leaving their homes after dark, locking doors and windows for fear of what might be lurking in the darkness of the night. A climate of mistrust and suspicion settles in the community, dividing residents between those who believe the reports about the Chupacabra and those who consider them simply a fruit of their fertile imagination. Meanwhile, the group of investigators continues their relentless search for the creature, determined to unravel the mystery that haunts the city. They follow every lead and investigate each report with dedication and courage, facing the dangers of the night in their search for the truth. However, the more they investigate, the more it becomes clear that they are dealing with a force beyond human understanding. Chupacabra seems to always be one step ahead, disappearing into the shadows before they can capture him, leaving behind only destruction and fear in his wake. As the terror intensifies, the protagonist and his companions find themselves increasingly isolated, fighting a threat that seems beyond their control. Their hopes of finding a logical explanation for the events plaguing Oakwood are fading, replaced by a feeling of helplessness and despair. However, even in the face of the horror that surrounds them, the group refuses to give up. They know that the only way to protect the city and its inhabitants is to face the Chupacabra head-on, even if it means risking their own lives in the name of justice and everyone's safety. The final battle between good and evil is about to begin, and the fate of Oakwood is in the hands of the brave who dare to challenge the shadows that surround it. The final confrontation between the residents of Oakwood and Chupacabra approaches, throwing the town into a state of anxiety and expectation. The group of investigators, led by the protagonist, prepares to face the creature in an epic battle for the city's survival and safety. Arming themselves with courage and determination, residents come together in a final show of unity and solidarity. They prepare traps and fortifications, hoping to intercept the Chupacabra before he can do any more damage to the city and its inhabitants. As night falls over Oakwood, the group takes position, waiting for the inevitable confrontation with the dark creature. The air is permeated with a tense electricity, each moment charged with the promise of imminent danger. And then, in the dark of night, the Chupacabra emerges from the shadows, his sinister gaze fixed on the residents of Oakwood. A cry of defiance echoes through the air, and the battle begins. The fight is fierce and intense, with the Chupacabra showing strength and ferocity beyond human comprehension. The group of residents fights with all their strength, using their courage and determination to face the terror that threatens their city. The battle unfolds in a cacophony of screams and roars, with Oakwood's fate hanging precariously in the balance. Every strike is a fight for survival, every move a test of courage and sacrifice. And then, in the climax of the battle, the Chupacabra is finally defeated. The creature falls, its sinister form disappearing into the shadows of the night. The residents of Oakwood celebrate their victory, knowing that their town is safe once again. However, even with Chupacabra defeated, the mystery surrounding him remains. The creature's true nature and motives remain unknown, leaving behind only unanswered questions and the echo of a terror that will never be forgotten. With the Chupacabra defeated and the threat looming over Oakwood dispelled, the city begins the process of recovering from the trauma and destruction left behind by the final confrontation. Residents come together in a spirit of solidarity and determination, working together to rebuild what was lost and restore the sense of security and tranquility that once defined the city. The once empty and quiet streets of Oakwood are now full of life and activity, as residents return to their daily routines and strive to overcome the traumatic events that shook the city. Smiles replace worried expressions, and the sound of laughter and lively conversation fills the air, signaling the rebirth of the community. However, the scars left by the confrontation with Chupacabra are still visible throughout the city. The damaged properties and ruins left behind by the battle serve as constant reminders of the danger that once threatened Oakwood, while the memories of those lost during the confrontation remain fresh in everyone's minds. Despite the challenges they face, Oakwood residents are determined to move forward and rebuild their lives. They come together in a spirit of resilience and hope, knowing that as long as they are together, they can overcome any obstacle fate throws their way. As time passes, the wounds caused by the confrontation with the Chupacabra begin to heal, and the city slowly transforms into a symbol of resistance and renewal. Oakwood emerges stronger than ever, a community united by adversity and determined to face the future with courage and determination. As the sun sets over Oakwood, illuminating the horizon with its golden rays, residents look to the future with hope and optimism, knowing that no matter what fate has in store for them, they will always be able to face whatever challenges arise. On your way. Oakwood's history, marked by terror and tragedy, now enters a new chapter, filled with promise and infinite possibilities. Even with the Chupacabra's defeat and the successful reconstruction of Oakwood, the sinister creature's legacy remains alive in the city's memory. The legend of the Chupacabra becomes part of local folklore, passed down from generation to generation as a grim reminder of the dangers that lurk in the shadows of the night. Oakwood residents continue to share stories about the Chupacabra, keeping alive the memory of the battle that united them against a common threat. Although the terror has been overcome, the legend of the creature continues to inspire fascination and intrigue, fueling the imagination of those who hear reports about the events that devastated the city. Furthermore, the confrontation with the Chupacabra left an indelible mark on the inhabitants of Oakwood, transforming them forever. They emerge from the conflict stronger and more united than ever, having faced the worst fate could offer and emerged victorious on the other side. As Oakwood moves into the future, Chupacabra's legacy serves as a constant reminder of the community's resilience and courage. Residents know that no matter what fate has in store for them, they will always be able to face whatever challenges come their way, united in their determination to protect their city and each other. And so, the story of Oakwood and Chupacabra intertwine, creating a unique narrative of terror, courage, and hope. As the city moves forward, it carries with it the lessons learned from its confrontation with the shadow creature, reminding everyone that even on the darkest nights, the light of hope never completely goes out.